My name's Coach Justin Harris, and welcome to our Summer Run Challenge 2025, week number 2. Okay, so I want to get into a little bit more specifics about each kind of session, and I'm really going to focus on over-unders and kind of the do's and don'ts. But first things first, make sure you follow us on Facebook at Team Wilpers Running is the group, and Team Wilpers on Facebook is the main page, but the running group is where we're going to converse, answer some questions, and to show support for each other. Okay, you can find us on Instagram at Team Wilpers and myself at J Harris Coaching on Instagram and Facebook. So for the first block, the training is in the same structure every week, and we're kind of progressing for the first 3 weeks and raising some of the volume and a little bit of the intensity. And then in week 4, to foreshadow a little bit, we're going to unload some volume. And by keep the intensity there, but unload some volume. So speed play, make sure that you're focusing on the velocity. So I'd rather you walk than to shuffle and get tired and reduce your quality at the end of the workout. So if anything, you can go a little faster, that's good. High end is you're not trying to be super progressive through all the intervals. You want to kind of start at a pretty strong effort and work your way through it. But if you're fading, you're going too hard in the beginning. So make some adjustments there. All right, the long run's going to increase for week number 2, but I really want to get into over-unders and kind of what it is and do's and don'ts. So over-unders is something that I use with my clients when we're doing a lot of treadmill work, and if it's super hot, we'll utilize this, and if it's super cold, we'll utilize this. This is a session that done outside, you really need to find like kind of a flat section. So for you Midwest folks, this should be no issue, and your Florida folks, this should be no issue, right? So you're finding kind of a flat or a little bit rolly area, and there's pace suggestions there, but you're really focusing on your effort on the session. So for over-unders, we're trying to do blocks at kind of like tempo to threshold effort, and so it's a little bit threshold effort pace, and then marathon pace. So we're oscillating in and out for several for chunks of time. All right. And so during those blocks, it's going to get more and more challenging, but you shouldn't be exhausted by the end of it. If it is, move back your paces about 15 seconds a mile. All right. And the whole point of this session is to get some exposure there. One, at the actual physiological level of experiencing some of these efforts, right? So we want to get a little huffy puffy, but we want to be more steady. Think, we're preheating the oven and for the warm up, and then for the intervals, that we're kind of like in the oven, right? And we're baking, all right? But we don't want to keep opening the door. We don't want to run too easy on our recoveries, all right? Which if we have to run really easy, that means we're pushing a little too hard, meaning the temperature is up a little too high. So you're trying to find a little bit of a balance there, okay? At the end of the day, the effort should feel steady but in control, all right? Then we're going to back off a little bit, and there the pace doesn't really matter. Just kind of try to recover, get your breath there. It should be like an easy, aerobic pace, something that you could chat, and then we're going to go back into it again. And for me, it's always that session, that second block of the kind of the over-unders is really what it's about. You've kind of worked out the kinks, and it's time to like tune it up a little bit. So if you run through the same loop or course, great. All right. And on the tread, you're just getting ready for it. All right. So at the end of the day, we're just trying to oscillate in and out. Right. And so that's also a tactical thing. How do I move into the pace I'm trying to run? And then how do I back away? And when we back away a little bit, you can kind of feel the magnitude of the change here. And if I'm looking at like a car and getting on the gas pedal and say the car red lines at 7,000 RPMs, we're really kind of somewhere between like 3 and 5,000 RPMs, right? And that's where we're oscillating. On the threshold interval, we're at 5, maybe 6, and then we're pulling back to like 3, 3.5, 4, right? And so we're just kind of oscillating in and out of there, okay? These sessions are super helpful for those who are developing, across the range, 5K to marathon. Marathon, you get a little touch on pace there. Threshold's a pretty close to half marathon pace. But really, this focus is about speed. So I'm trying to set you up to have some exposures at threshold, because in block 2, we'll get more into pure threshold where we're not going to back off. We're going to stay there. And it's really important that you understand how the effort's supposed to be, because especially with the heat, if we're doing these outside, it's easy to, let's say, overcook the cookies and burn them, right? And that's not what we want to do. And by burning them, quote unquote, means we're moving to the next zone, which is VO2 max, which we're already doing on Mondays. So we don't want to have two VO2 max workouts. It's very easy to do. All right. And where I've made my biggest gains in my career is when I really locked into threshold. And it takes a long time. It'll take 8 weeks, but you'll have a better sense of your pace and velocities and realizing that you don't have to go really hard all the time to make big gains. All right. Um, so that's it for the challenge this week. All right. So the intervals for speed play pick up a little bit. The long run picks up a little bit. Everything else pretty much stays the same. Don't try to really maximize and crush this week, right? Because next week we're doing even more. I hope everyone enjoys their fourth, their holiday, if you're in the US, and we'll see you next week live. Okay, so I'm here with DV, who's a loyal and longtime challenge participant, and the one that you're going to see answering your questions on Facebook and on Instagram and different stuff. So, DV, thanks for being here. We're going to ask some questions about the challenge, and then I got some Spitfire questions to ask you at the end. And I'm only looking for a single word answer. A couple questions I have to like kind of get into things is like this challenge is really about like focusing on speed, which it was in the winter as well. And someone might say, hey, like I'm doing marathons or I'm doing long stuff and, this is distracting or not building to what we're doing here. So I kind of want to talk to you a little bit about, speed. And one of the questions I want to start off with is, how do you approach faster sessions?
With Jesus. First, I go there, say a little
Blow
prayer,
up, blow
right?
up.
I mean, kidding, but yeah, that's
Okay.
how it works. So speed works. Most people, I don't know. I feel like people get intimidated by it, or they're just the thought of it is scary to them. But it's really just an essential part of the workout. I mean, I think that for me, I started to look at every single workout, every single run in two ways. They have a therapeutic purpose for me mentally, no doubt, and they have a physical benefit.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's why we're doing it. So like you look at the long run as like the time to clear your mind, not think at all if you don't want to, or use that time to like process thoughts and think uninterrupted and the fresh air and the blood flow. It helps you think more and clearer and all that stuff. The speed work I started to look at as a part of like the aggression, like getting out the rage, getting out the stress, getting out. It's my workout to go out there and bang and get it out and feel good. And it's like really cathartic when you're done. You could just be like, oh, it's like just such a release of energy. You got the energy in there. We all have stress. We all have stuff going on in our lives. So it's really important. And like the most important thing I've accepted for myself, and I wish more people would, and it's a new thing for me, but it's just run. Like the paces are going to land where they're going to land. Mm-hmm. And if you look at it about the mindset and the intention mm-hmm. of the work, of the intervals, whatever the paces end up being, you might hit them, you might pass them, overshoot them, you might fall short. But if the intention and the mindset is there, I think you get a big benefit from that also. So
what concerns you about a 5K? It's all these things. Like, what's the kind of what is the hurdle to overcome in a 5K?
I mean, it all depends on your personal goal because 5Ks are really that. They could just be fun. And you can do a 5K like every week and just go out and bang out 10-minute miles and have a nice little race. They're great practice races just to get to the line, to get your bib, to do all these things. Like without a lot, if you're taking them easy, it's not a lot of wear and tear on the body. It's a great little practice routine run. When I go into one saying I want to sub 25 this race, I mean, I lose control. I just lose pacing control. Like even if I set paces in my watch, whatever, it's like the heart rate, the anticipation, all these things that come into it to try to hit that specific goal because it's just hanging over my head for so long. It's like the first mile I'm tasting blood, like I'm between my heart rate and how fast I'm trying to go. Cause it's not, that's a tough pace for me. That's above threshold.
Yeah.
But I could look at my distance test in 20 minutes. I did 2.65 miles. And I look at that and I go, how can I not bang out another half a mile in 5 minutes?
Yeah. So I'm hearing you say it's like it's a little bit of the pressure that you're putting on it. Plus it's
I think so.
high intensity, right? So, To run your best 5K takes
Hmm.
multiple 5Ks kind of in quick succession.
A few moments later.
So now on to the rapid fire questions. Where we'll just get to know you a little bit and make it simple, easy, one-word answers. It's a little bit challenging here, but let's go into rapid
I
fire.
mean, do you know me? One word answers and me are not
He's already
something that
talking,
works.
everyone.
But
He's already
okay,
saying sentences. Let me ask the questions here.
okay, sorry.
Zip it until I ask. No. All right. So, what do you feel when you finish training?
Proud.
Nice. Okay. Recovery day. All right. It's recovery day. Run,
Hmm.
ride, or mobility. You got to pick one.
Mobility.
Got it. All right. On a day that the training calendar says off and you're not doing anything physical on that off day, what are you doing on that off day outside of training?
Cooking.
Cooking. Okay. Carbon plate shoes. Yes, yay or nay?
Nay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Your go-to sugar when you need it in a long training run or a race. Are we doing gels, chews, or the sugar or the carbs are in liquid form?
Choose.
Chews.
Scratch choose. Yeah.
Nice. Excellent. Okay. All right. Pre-race have to. Before a race, you have to.
Coffee. Always.
Yeah. All right. Unrelated to running and training, but how many unread emails are in your inbox?
3,970.
Okay, not bad for most people.
It's not bad. That's what I'm saying.
Considering you've had this email for a very long time, and we won't get into
I,
it.
a lot of people know. This is definitely, if you know, you know.
Yeah. All right. Last question here. Your favorite thing about Team Wilpers and Team Wilpers challenges?
The camaraderie, without a doubt.
Awesome.
Best team. Oh, sorry, more words than one. Camaraderie.
It's okay. All right, DV, thank you for playing along with us.
Absolutely.
Thank you for being a part of the challenges and engaging with a lot of clients here and a lot of people doing it. There's a lot of questions. You know, at this point, you're an OG gangsta here, and thank you for all the help that you do. And awesome. So appreciate you. Enjoy the fourth.
Yeah.
And have a good time.
Happy 4th.